Hi, fourth graders. We are back with a revision and editing lesson today. And this one is a little bit tricky because there are so many rules about dialogue, but we can at least get some of the basics down and we want to start heading in the right direction. Now, I always look to published texts when I'm trying to figure out how to format dialogue. And so I have some rules, and then we're actually going to look at a book, and you can do the same thing in your own book. But I have 2 pages out of 2 excellent books that have dialogue in it that we can look through together. So, for formatting dialogue, there are some basic rules. The first rule is that you capture the speaker's words in quotes, okay? That means that the words that the speaker is actually saying, if they were a cartoon, it would be in the voice bubble. Those go in quotes. Second thing to know is if it's a new speaker, it's a new paragraph. Same speaker, same paragraph. And I'll show you some examples of that. The punctuation, that means periods, commas, question marks, exclamation points, go inside the quotation marks. And then finally, when the speaker ends a sentence, if it would end in a period, it turns into a comma when it's followed by a speaker tag. That's like Zico said or muttered Emily. And if it ends in a question mark or exclamation point, it stays that way. So here are a couple examples. When are we going to leave? Asked Emma. Noticed the speaker's words, when are we going to leave, are in quotes. We also notice that it's a question mark and it's inside the quotation marks. Okay? Or here's another example. I'm trying to get ready right now, Mom replied. She picked up her purse. Okay, I think we have it all, she said to herself. Let's go. So notice, new speaker, that's Mom, new paragraph. The other thing I'm noticing is that her sentence is kind of cut in half, right? I'm trying to get ready now, Mom replied. That would be the end. It would normally have a period, but it's a comma because it's followed by Mom replied, which is the speaker tag. Then she picks up her purse and she keeps talking. Okay, I think I have it all, she said to herself. Let's go. So, to look at this, I've created this thing that's called a dialogue inquiry. And what I like to do is find an example from a book and then say, what is it that I noticed that's happening? So these examples are from Esperanza Rising, but you can fill this out by looking at either your own book, or let's look at a couple examples. One is from the book Wonder, which you may be familiar with. If you are familiar with, this is the scene where August is meeting Mr. Tushman. Hi, Mr. Tushman. It's so nice to see you again, said Mom. This is my son, August. So I'm noticing a couple things. One, Mom's words are in quotes, right? The other thing I'm noticing is that even though it would be a period, it turns into a comma because it's followed by said Mom. In this case, this is my son, August. It ends in a period because it's not followed by the speaker tag, all right? And as we saw here, if it's followed by a comma when it's followed by a speaker tag, right? Here's another one. Mr. Tushman looked right at me and smiled and nodded. He put out his hand for me to shake. That's just describing the action, right? Hi, August, comma, he said totally normally. It's a pleasure to meet you. So this is all Mr. Tushman talking. So when he speaks twice, it stays in the same paragraph. But now it's August talking. Hi, I mumbled. So it goes to a new paragraph. All right. Same thing. Mr. Tushman starts speaking. So, he said, kneeling down in front of me so I couldn't look at his sneakers, but I had to look at his face. Your mom and dad have told me a lot about you. Now, this one is pretty interesting because he's breaking up. So, your mom and dad have told me a lot about you. So, notice the sentence starts with a capital letter. And then when the sentence continues here, it's not capitalized because it's the middle of a sentence. Now, I don't expect that you're going to get it all perfect, but I do hope that what you can do are these couple of things for sure. One thing for sure you can do is capture the speaker's words in quotes. That's important. What are they saying? She's saying, this is my son, August. Those go in quotes. Said Mom is what's called a speaker tag. That does not go in quotes. That's like Zico said, Maya said, Miss Angela said, etc. Okay? When it's a new speaker, have a new paragraph. and make sure your punctuation goes inside the quotation marks. If you can do these 3, that's awesome. The last one is going to be a work in progress. So let's look at one last example. And I like this too because they also have some character thought. And I like the way they have dialogue, action, and thinking. So he's howling. Aroo! The howling was a good start. Animals howl, he had been told, to declare their existence. Max, standing in his white wolf suit, stood at the top of the stairs and, using a rolled up piece of construction paper as a megaphone, howled again as loud as he could. Aroo! When he was done, there was a long silence. Uh-oh, Gary finally said. Ha, Max thought. Let Gary worry. Let everyone worry. Right? So this is a really nice mix here. Dialogue, action, dialogue, action, dialogue, thought. So when you're working on this today, I'd love for you to think about how to format your dialogue, but also I'd like you to think about how you can mix it up. So it's not just dialogue, 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 action, 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 mix it up. Same thing in this example, right? We have dialogue, we have action, we have dialogue, we kind of have what August is noticing. So these are some things that you can try out today when you do it in your writing piece.